Dr. Nick Abraham was found dead, wrapped in a tarp along Highway 51 in Tangipahoa Parish.
Wait.
I'm absolutely devastated and completely surprised that something like that could have happened.
The parish sheriff, Gerald Sticker, described Abraham's death as very violent and very physical.
With you.
Investigator, you're now looking.
Don't do anything drastic
For this man.
unless you want to look like this.
In connection to the murder of that Baton Rouge therapist.
Popular TikToker Mr. Prada is behind bars in Texas tonight on that warrant out of Baton Rouge.
Mr. Prada is a TikToker with two main accounts that have a total follow count of over 8 million. His content was pretty basic, with it consisting of POVs and sketches. His claim to fame was his relatability, with some of his most popular TikToks being something almost everyone has gone through, such as being sweet to children, making fun of someone's clothing, and forgetting to text someone back because you're on a game. However, Mr. Prada found himself in a slight controversy when many people saw that he was stealing other people's content and passing it off as his own, sometimes word for word. But on TikTok, most of the time no one really cares about who originally made a video, as long as it makes them laugh. Mr. Prada's life outside of TikTok for a while wasn't very broadcasted, with his TikTok and normal life being pretty separated. The only exceptions were his Get Ready With Me videos, where he would time to time bring up his day-to-day life and other random things, but he never ended up going too in-depth. Although he rarely spoke out about his public life at times, it was very evident that something was going on behind the scenes. On the TikTok account Mr. Prada458, there is a sudden change in Prada's appearance. He posted a video of him on October 25th of 2023. This video shows him with facial hair and long hair, something that was pretty normal. Almost exactly 6 months later, Prada posted himself again, doing a skit, and in this skit we see all of his hair was shaved off. During this hiatus on that account, he was posting on his other TikTok account, Mr. Prada456, in which we see a few videos about him cutting his hair. Nothing is inherently wrong about this, however Prada was gone for a while, and when he came back he seemed very different. It seemed as if his mental health had taken a toll, and this was most definitely the case. Based off a now deleted YouTube video titled, "Woke Up Depressed, At Least I'm Skinny Though," Prada had long struggled with relationships and depression, and although this is very saddening, he was for the most part explaining his thoughts very thoroughly, and he seemed to have some kind of grasp on what he was going through. It wouldn't be till his next YouTube video titled Life Update where we see this calm and collected Prada make a full 180. This video has since been deleted, but it consists of Prada screaming and going on long tangents about life and how it ruined him. This video also is when Prada shaved his head. He then came out with another video confirming what many began to think, and that was if he had bipolar disorder. Which, for those who don't know, bipolar disorder is a disorder that can cause huge and sudden shifts in behavior and thinking, which would explain why Prada suddenly seemed like a much different person, or at the very least, why he seemed like he was spiraling out of control. And after months and months of Prada's decline in mental health, he snapped. Nicholas Abraham is an interesting person to talk about. On one hand, many praised him for being a therapist and former priest alongside just being a good person who cared about the well-being of others. And on the other hand, rumors of sexual misconduct floated around, due to Nicholas having records of being arrested for inappropriately touching a young boy during a counseling session back in 2015. However, this was never taken to trial. District Attorney for East Baton Rouge, Hiller Moore, stated, While there was probable cause for an arrest, my office had to determine if the evidence supported our burden at trial, which is proof beyond a reasonable doubt. This matter was under review by my office for approximately 2 years. After considering all available evidence, the best interest of the child, and the lack of any inculpatory statements by the arrestee, we declined to institute formal charges. Nicholas had a decent resume. He had a PhD in counseling, a master's degree in religious studies, and a master's degree in theology. And although he had some nasty allegations against him, he seemed to be loved and appreciated by most. Which is why the community he was from and his family and friends were completely emotional distraught when they found out he was murdered. Murdered by Terrion Thomas, aka Mr. Prada. On Sunday, September 29th, the body of 69-year-old Nicholas Abraham was found near a highway in rural Tangipahoa Parish, Louisiana, rolled up in a tarp with his cause of death claimed to be due to a blunt force trauma to the head. Nicholas Abraham drove an SUV. The same SUV he drove was seen driving around town. However, Nicholas was already dead at this point, and his SUV was marked down as stolen. When pulled over for a traffic stop, the person driving the SUV backed up into the policeman's car and ran away on foot. This person was later seen on security cameras, this person being Mr. Prada. Mr. Prada fled to Texas where he was eventually caught. And at first he was only arrested due to suspicions of aggravated criminal damage of property, resisting an officer, and unauthorized use of a motorized vehicle. However, later he was charged with second-degree murder. The motive as to why Prada did this is still unknown. However, many speculated that Prada could have been getting revenge. Many people wondered if Prada was the young boy who was taken advantage of years prior. However, the attorney for Abraham's case in 2015 said that it was absolutely not him. Many believe that it's also possible that Prada went to seek help, and when he did, he was taken advantage of. However, in a news release, it stated, "At this time, there's no evidence to suggest that Thomas was a client of Abraham." Although this could be true, there is no doubt that there was a relationship between Mr. Prada and Abraham, due to the fact that Abraham was seen on surveillance video entering Thomas's apartment Saturday morning. Witnesses then came forward and said that Thomas was seen hours later, struggling to drag something wrapped in a blue tarp down the apartment building stairs, before placing the tarp in Abraham's car. And when Prada's apartment was searched, signs of struggles were found, including a trail of blood. Signs also indicated that Prada tried to clean up after himself to cover his tracks. As of writing the script, not much is known why Prada committed this crime. Whether it's for revenge, for something that happened to him years prior, or he was seeking help and something happened to him to cause him to snap, Mr. Prada murdered Nicholas Abraham and became the Tik Tok Killer.
Abraham's body was found wrapped in a tarp on the side of U.S. Highway 51 in Tangipahoa Parish Sunday morning. And then Monday, Baton Rouge police spotted Abraham's car, which they say Thomas was driving on North Sherwood Boulevard. Officers tried to stop the car, but the driver backed into the police car, ditched the Lincoln, and ran away. We first told you about our app this afternoon that an arrest warrant had been issued for Thomas, known to more than 4 million of his TikTok followers as Mr. Prada. Thomas is wanted for unauthorized use of motor vehicle, aggravated criminal damage to property, and resisting an officer. News 2's Alexis Mary takes us back through the timeline of what has unfolded.
Sylvia, this afternoon, WBRZ went to the clerk of court's office for the arrest warrant issued today for Terrion Ishmael Thomas, a social media influencer.
The alerts started coming in on Sunday. The Tangipahoa Sheriff's Department found a man wrapped in a tarp on Highway 51. Then Monday, deputies released his identity. It was 69-year-old William Nicholas Abraham, a therapist in Baton Rouge.
I was visiting with a friend, and my sister called me and said that it was imperative that I call her back, and so I did. And I was pretty much, I guess, in shock.